Hello, everyone. Thank you for checking out this episode of Nerd Caliber. I'm here with Lyrixx Cosplay, all the way near the West Coast, or at least around there. Um, this is an incredible Raven cosplay. What can you tell us about it?
Um, well, a lot of it is composition cosplay. It started out very composition and kind of like just mainly casual and kind of transitioned into a full Raven and is still in the works. I'm building on it every chance I get.
Oh, how long have you been working on it?
I think 2 years now.
Oh, wow. What would you say has been the biggest difference from now compared to then?
When I first started, it was just like a black shirt, black t-shirt, and like a skirt. And then I finally switched over to the leotard and got my gems.
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, this looks great. What would you like to tell us about this cosplay?
I have been a huge fan of this character for a very long time. Like since I started watching Teen Titans, that was my favorite character. It's been something that I've wanted to cosplay for a very long time, and I'm hoping to continue to improve it. Like right now, the cape is not my favorite, but I have a plan to like kind of use what I have now and use it as a lining and kind of create a new, slightly more dramatic cape.
Okay, let's talk about the makeup. The makeup really stands out to me. It's flawless.
Thank you.
How did you put that together?
So makeup is kind of my strong point in cosplay because I do a lot of like makeup artistry outside of cosplay. So character makeup is just a fun new way to turn myself into somebody new. I basically use Graftobian Pro Paint and Mayron Paradise Paint in white and gray. I start with a white base and kind of add tiny bits of gray. Because I want a little more on the white side, and then use a very small amount of like eyeshadow for like the eye creases, and keep it really simple on the eyeliner. And that's pretty much it. I use like purple contouring, but I keep the makeup overall pretty simple in this look, but I try to tone it more towards like the anime Raven.
How long does it take you to put all that makeup on?
This one today took me, I think, 2 hours, but I also did it like,
Okay. Do you find it difficult, like when you're at a convention with makeup? Like gotta be careful not to hug people or anything like that.
yeah, I find myself warning people all the time. I'm like, oh, this is it's water based, so it rubs off super easy, whereas like grease paint will kind of stay on a little better. So I'm constantly like, okay, if they like, I'm going to hug a friend or something, I'm like, just so you know, I don't want to get makeup on you. So I'm like being real careful, like dodging my face around them. 'Cause I don't want to mess up their costume either.
Okay. Oh, your contacts. I'm assuming you don't have I'm assuming you don't have real purple eyes. Uh,
No.
were they expensive or is it difficult to put on?
I actually have been wearing colored contacts for a long time, a couple of years. So for me, it was just kind of like I just pop them in now. Whereas when I first was getting started, it took me like an hour to get one contact in. Um, these were not super expensive. They're maybe $24. But going forward, I'd like to spring for the higher quality brand because they last longer, they feel better, and are all around safer.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's the one thing I hear about something with cosplay with contact lenses that you have to be pretty careful. I've heard horror stories of infections and oof, but that's really good to know. Let's talk about the jewelry, I guess, the bead up here and on your arm and your hands as well. What can you tell us about that?
So this one, it used to be red, but it's kind of faded to a purple. I bought like a set of purple rhinestones, and it took me forever to find a diamond shaped rhinestone that I was happy with, and the only ones I could find were purple. So I just took a red Sharpie and colored it in. It faded over time, so refreshing the color or getting bundles of rhinestones is great because they're easy to lose. So I would have to refresh this one before a convention and like color it in red. And I just kind of dot eyelash glue on it or like a gem adhesive. This today I used a glitter adhesive and it works just fine. As for these ones, I bought like just a set of like I think 20 big giant rhinestones, like the biggest I could find. And they just so perfectly sit in shower curtain like the things that the rings that go hold your shower curtain together. And I spray painted those gold, stuck the rhinestones in them, and glued them in there. And then I glued little like safety pins on the back, not safety pins, but things for like enamel pins. And that's what's keeping them on me.
Okay.
I did the same with the belt, but I doubled up on the shower curtain rings.
Okay. What can you tell us about your wig?
The wig is from Arta. I don't remember. It's been so long. I don't remember the name. I think it's Genie. It's the shorter bob, and I really didn't have to do much to it. It came ready to go for Raven. I got lucky and got it on a good sale, and they're really fast with shipping. I got it within a week after ordering it. So I didn't really have to do much to the wig at all. Usually I do a lot of wig styling, but this one was grab and go.
What can you tell us about the costume itself?
So like I said, this is not my favorite cape. This one is completely just store-bought costume cape. The same with the leotard. I just kind of threw that together, and then the gloves, I altered them a little bit. I did a little bit of like I added the rings, but overall it's just like gloves, a leotard, the gems that I built, the belt, which is a bunch of shower rings and key rings that are thrown together. I can show you that. I can take that off later and show you, but it's like mainly a lot of composition. I'm wearing gray tights to kind of simulate Raven's gray skin tone so that I don't have like a gray face and then like tan legs or pale legs.
Some Raven cosplayers I've talked to talk about how sometimes it's uncomfortable wearing the getup. It could get too hot, or it could be uncomfortable after some time. Do you have similar problems?
Oh, yes. So wearing the leotard with the cape and the gloves, it definitely gets very warm, but at the same time going out, it's not a winter wear at all. So you could be super hot inside of it.
So this looks great. You mentioned before that you're looking to improve on it. What?
I did just improve the pins because before they were really just safety pins. As I said before with the cape, I want to use the cape that I have as a lining or a base, and I'm thinking a more velvety finish, maybe something more long and dramatic to kind of give that Raven flow. And like when I wrap it around me, I want it to kind of dangle and drag on the ground a little bit. I want to upgrade the leotard to something maybe either matte or kind of a fake leather to kind of.
I think Raven is so popular among cosplayers or even fans in general.
For me, I tend to gravitate towards darker characters like the crazier or villains. Raven's kind of like right in the middle. She's not exactly a villain. She's a hero, but she's also like, she's still got that very dark side. She's half demon. So like she caters to both of my like favorite things, like villains and heroes. I think she's kind of relatable in the sense that she does have to maintain and be very, very careful with her emotions. Whereas Starfire is the exact opposite. She is full of emotions. She's bubbly. She's this like a complete contrast to Raven. So I feel like those two are just a perfect duo. And I think that's what I find with a lot of Raven cosplayers. There's generally a Starfire right around the corner.
So, fun question. I know the typical ship with Raven, it tends to be Beast Boy. But I know there's been talk about like maybe Robin. I think there was actually one of the latest DC anime movies where Robin and Raven got together. Do you have a favorite ship and why?
Beast Boy and Raven all the way. I love that she kind of grounds him, but he's this like wild card in her life, and they shouldn't match, but they just fit. And that's been my favorite thing about them from day one.
Oh, okay. So for anyone that looks at your cosplay and they want to try their own Raven version of Raven, any advice? Would there be any advice you would give them?
Honestly, my advice is always just go for it. If you are too afraid to, like, if you don't think you have the sewing skills, do what I did. Start with a composition cosplay and build little things here and there until you are happy with the cosplay. Shower rings are a lifesaver. They're amazing, and gold spray paint, it's your best friend.
Okay, so overall, would you say the costume, even with the makeup, is over maybe 2, 3 hours at the most?
Um, for me right now, yes, it's gonna be a slightly bigger build in the future, but right now it was so easy, and to get in and out of, I'd say like makeup included 2 3 hours. Yeah.
Oh, okay. And if I may ask, what would you say is the cost?
The cost, ooh, for the Raven I have now currently, I'd say maybe 150. So not one of my most expensive, but definitely not my cheapest.
Okay, okay. So before we wrap up, what would you say is the hardest thing about this cosplay? What would you say the greatest challenge is the makeup, making the costume or adapting to it? What would you say?
For me, the greatest challenge was figuring out how to build the belt and the makeup, perfecting the makeup, because like I'm a huge perfectionist, and I feel like my first round of Raven I felt like was way too dramatic. I was never happy with it. It took me like I think 4 or 5 different conventions till I finally got to where I wanted to go, where I wanted to be with the makeup. As for the belt, it just took forever to find the right rhinestones. I couldn't figure out how to connect everything, like connect the different key rings and the shower curtain rod, since there's no way to like wind it like you would with other key rings. So I think that was my most difficult part of the costume.
Okay. Um, so for anyone who wants to check out more of your work, where can they go on social media?
Lyrixx Cosplay, and that's Lyrixx Cosplay on Instagram. I have a Facebook, which is Lyrixx Cosplay and Modeling, spaces in between each word.
Is there any last words, anything you'd like to say to our viewers before we sign out?
I know there's a lot of people who tend to watch cosplay things because they're interested in it, but a lot of people are afraid of doing it. I've had the same kind of questions, um, like kind of probing whether or not they want to get into cosplay. I'd say if you have any interest in it at all, if there's any chance that you might enjoy it, go for it. You might end up addicted.
All right, excellent. Great way to end off the segment. Thank you so much for talking to us about your Raven cosplay. And to our viewers out there, thank you for watching, and stay tuned for more cosplay content. Have a safe day.
Thank you so much for having me.